Good morning. So today I will be looking at the IELTS reading tourism. So I will be focusing on the vocabulary as well as the uh, whether with this sentence we can reframe or re-paraphrase for our essays related to tourism. Tourism, holiday making, and travel. Okay, tourism, holiday making, and travel are these days more significant social phenomena than the most commentators have considered. That anyone have considered. So you can use the same thing for your tourism essay, right? As a starting, tourism, they are talking about tourism, holiday making, and travel are these days in today's world. You will be telling, you might be starting in today's world, comma, instead of that you can start like this also, are these days more significant social phenomena. Okay, so what is the meaning of phenomena? Okay, so that means this is the meaning existing thing, that is known as, already existing thing is known as phenomenon. Okay, fine. Something that exists, meaning is something that exists and can be seen, felt, tested, etc. Especially something unusual. Just think something already existing and which is usually interesting. That is known as phenomenon. So gravity is a natural phenomenon. Fine. Next sentence is, do if you need two or three sentences to remember that sentence forever. Do you believe in the paranormal and other psychic phenomena? There is evidence to suggest that child abuse is not just a recent phenomenon. Okay, so almost all essay startings you can somehow see phenomenon. So you can also use those things. And commentator, one sentence was the that most commentators have considered. Commentator means a reporter for TV or television who provides a spoken description and remarks on an event, especially in sports competition as it happens. So those who comments, right, that is known as commentator. So in sports, it's visible. You can see in sports, right, a radio commentator, or example is a radio commentator or a sports or football commentator. So this is a good sentence for any essay starting. So because two vocabulary itself is coming, you can skip that commentator part if you want. So okay, for what is the synonyms for phenomenon? That is occurrence, event, episodes. Okay. Next, for next sentence, we need to learn what is the meaning of trivial. So several essay they will be using the sentence trivial also, and so it says important vocabulary. So trivial means having little value or importance. If it has little value, it's trivial doesn't mean it's important. Okay, no important, little value or importance is known as trivial. I don't know why he gets so upset about something so trivial. Silly things, right? So trivial. Sexual harassment in the workplace is not a trivial matter. So good vocabulary, trivial matter. A trivial problem is something, there is one more meaning, it's easy to solve. Getting computers to understand human language is not a trivial problem. So we are going to learn, now we study, let's read this. If you know the vocabulary, definitely the academic or a general reading section will be easy, otherwise you won't understand the reading itself. So on the face, since I am making some videos like this, it could be helpful for you. On the face of it, otherwise the problem is that you need so much time to prepare for your examination. On the face of it, there could not be a more trivial, more important subjects. More trivial means less important. But here it is used that there could not be a more trivial subject for a book. So it could be an interesting subject for a book. That's what the sentence means. And indeed, so let's read this deviance. Okay, deviance means, say, it's like any violation in society's norms, something which is standard, and if that they are getting deviated, that is known as that violation, that deviation is known as deviance. Okay, sentence are any deviance. Okay, any deviance from the budgeted profit and there is an immediate investigation. So any deviance or deviation, so that is known as any deviance from the budgeted profit and there is an immediate investigation. So next sentence is, there are several possible reasons why social deviance may be associated with faster driving. So the sentence is social deviance. Okay. Sentence is like this passage. And indeed, since social scientists have considered difficulty explaining weighted topics, difficult topics, it's known as weighted topics such as work or political, it might be thought that they would have greater difficulties in accounting for more trivial phenomena such as, see, they expected for interesting, in that sense they use trivial. Unusual phenomena means what? Something unusual, right? Something, some interesting incidents. Okay, unusual or interesting, see, phenomena, unusual or interesting existing thing. Okay, so for more trivial, unusual or interesting phenomenon, interesting, such as holiday making. So travel, tourism, holiday making, some of the vocabulary, trivial subject. Okay, it means less important subject. It's no more trivial means it's not less important, it's important, that is the meaning. Okay, so what's written in the yellow color is the passage and green is the meaning. Okay, however, there are interesting parallels with the study of deviance. So this involves investigation of bizarre and idiosyncratical social practices. So bizarre means something very strange. Okay, very strange or unusual. Both has the same meaning. It's a, okay, bizarre, unusual situation, unusual behavior, or curious or strange. That is the meaning. Okay. Idiosyncratic means the same thing only, strange, unusual habit, way of behaving, feature. So think that, okay, the sentence is, the film 3 hours long is directed in his unusual idiosyncratic style, something unusual habit, behaving. Okay, he follows a very idiosyncratic schedule, unusual schedule. Okay, strange schedule. So think that is, it has the same meaning, unusual thing. Involves the investigation of unusual and idiosyncratic social practices which happen to be defined as deviant, because deviance, this is the family of word, deviance, deviant, in some society but not necessary in the others. Leave this sentence as it is because I don't think this is much important for essays. So it depends upon how you're framing the sentence, right? I didn't think this is so much important in the view of essays. So but you have to be familiar with the essays. Sometimes questions can come from there, right? So the assumption is that investigation of deviance can reveal interesting and significant aspect. So see, nowadays deviance means, investigation of deviance means, actually because of tourism there is a deviation from what people, how the people live in those countries. Okay, that is creating the problem. So major if people are continuously going to Indonesia, at that time the lifestyle of that particular place get deviated. That's what they are actually discussing over here. Investigation of deviance can reveal interesting and significant aspect of normal society. So there is a if you are investigating, there is a difference, right? There is an interesting significant aspects of how normal people live. So that is different. That's why tourism is not good. That's what they says. See, even if you compare, I am actually planning to make 3 videos related to tourism. Mostly they are giving the same idea, but the sentence are different. That idea will be same. Okay, tourism is booming industry. It's provide employment opportunities, and then it's a significant source for foreign exchange. But the negative aspect is that normal society, they are losing that interest. Interesting and significant aspects of the normal society is declining. Okay, so this is the positive side and the negative side. So if you know these 2 points, you can frame any sentence, means any essays. But the problem again is that good vocabulary, good sentence writing skill. Okay, concept is the same. So that's why I'm actually discussing this thing in the class. So in this video, it could be said that a similar analysis can be applied to tourism. So the same thing can be applied to tourism. Tourism is a leisure activity. So from here it's easy to understand, not from above, but the concept is this thing. Tourism is a leisure activity which presupposes. What is the presupposes means? Presume or assume is known as presupposes. Sentence is like this: your argument presupposes assume that it does not matter who is in power. Presume. So that is known as presupposes. Its opposite, namely regulated. Okay, let me read again. Tourism is a leisure activity, good sentence, which presumes good vocabulary. Its opposite, namely regulated and organized work, tacitly assume at the beginning of a line of argument or course of action that is something is the case. Better take this much only, or whatever you can grab, and you can read those sentences. It is one manifestation of, see, it's one showcasing. Okay, it's one manifestation. From here you can, I guess, how work and leisure are organized as separate and regular space of social practice in modern societies. See, there is what they are saying over here. Work is one thing which everyone follows, and leisure, it is balanced. Okay, so from here that they are talking how the work and leisure is getting balanced, but it's separated and regulated spheres of social practice in modern society. Once again, it is one manifestation of how work and leisure are organized. Work, leisure are organized as separate and regulated spheres of social practices in modern society. So this separate and regulated, it's regulated in the modern society. Okay, modern nowadays. Okay. Indeed, acting as a tourist is one of the defining characteristics of being modern. See, nowadays tourists are considered themselves as modern if they go for traveling. If any so car, everything become social status, right? So marker of social status. So that's what tourism is considered. A tourist going for a travel or tourism is considered as a modern person. Okay. Indeed, acting as a tourist is one of the defining characters of being modern. So that's what they are saying, modern society. It's defining characters of being modern. Okay, now if you go for tour, that means you are modern. And the popular concept of tourism is that it is organized within particular places. So, okay, if you go to Bali or if you go to UK, which is considered as better tourist spot. Okay, that mentality is there, right? Is a popular concept of tourism that is organized within particular places and occurs for regularized period of time. Okay, at least once in a year traveling is must, right, these days. and occurs for regularized periods of time. Okay, after corona, tourism industries are not booming. Tourist relationship arise from a movement of people to and their stay in various destinations. So they are talking about what is tourism now. Tourist relationship arise from a movement of people to and their stay in various destinations. They move to movement of people to and they stay in various destinations or tourist spots. This necessarily involves some movement, that is journey. Movement means that is journey, and a period of stay in a new places or new place or places. So that is the same sentence only. Okay, it involves some movement. Okay, that is the journey. The movement is known as considered as the journey, and period there will be a stay the and period of stay in that place. The journey and the stay are by definition outside the normal places of residence and work and are a short term and home temporary nature, and there is a clear intention to return home with a relatively short period of time. So the journey and stay. So there is importance of journey, stay in a particular place. They don't want to stay in some normal places, right? Normal place usual where they experience the tourists as like going regularly. They want to move to some uh, tourist places which is not normal to their life. So they stay outside the, see that's what they say, outside the normal places of residence. So instead of staying in the normal place, they stay outside the normal place of residence and work and are of short term and temporary nature. They won't stay there, right? Okay, short term and temporary nature, and there is a clear intention to return. They definitely will return home within relatively short period of time. So temporary stay, temporary nature, or relatively short period of time. A substantial means large. A substantial proportion of the population of modern societies engages in such tourist practices. So that is what known as tourism. Okay, fine. Substantial, large hordes of tourists, which means groups of tourists, or you can say substantial proportion. You cannot repeat tourist, right? So you can say substantial proportion of the population of modern society or substantial proportion of tourists this tourism is developed in order to cope with the mass character of the gazes of tourists as opposed to the individual character. See, gazes are there. Mass tourism is different and the individual tourism is different. As opposed to, in comparison, you say, right? So, gazes of tourists as opposed to individual character of tourist travel. Visited places are chosen to be visited and to be gazed upon because there is an anticipation, there is an expectation. Anticipation means expectation, especially through daydreaming and fantasy. Why tourist is having a daydream? That's what the author says. Daydreaming and fantasy of intense pleasure, either on a different scale or involving different senses from those customarily encountered. See that what's they are saying over here is that tourist is having an expectation and they will be daydreaming and fantasying of how much enjoyable the places will be, that to vacation will be. So it's based on each individual, or that's why they are saying either on a different scale or involving different senses from their customarily. If bachelors are going for a place, they want to boost, right? They want to drink, enjoy. But if a children are going to that place, that means they want to play any build sandal, build castles in the sand. So that's what their ideas will be different. Okay, people are chosen to be visited and be gazed upon because there is an anticipation, especially through daydreaming and fantasy of intense pleasure. Maximum pleasure they are expecting from the either on a different scale or involving different senses. Okay, from the customarily, that is individual based, customarily encountered. See why this happens. Such anticipation is constructed. See, it's not by itself, it's constructed and sustained through construction and constructed and sustained through this idea. If you don't have that reading habit, then definitely you won't get these ideas. Okay, that's the reason importance of reading. Is constructed and sustained through a variety of non-tourist practices such as film, TV, literature, magazine records, and videos, which construct and reinforce this daydreaming. See, mostly everyone in the aisles they want to just pass. Okay, so they always look for the shortcuts. It's not everyone has that reading habit. Once you, if you want to do pass this examination, then definitely the reading is a must. Okay, so that's it. So how they are getting that construction and construct and sustain through non-tourist practices, okay, such as film, TV, literature, magazine records, video. So they construct and reinforce. What is the meaning of reinforce? Strengthen this daydreaming, that is known as strengthen or support this daydreaming. Okay, the helmet has been reinforced with a double layer one, so it's made strengthen, strong. Okay, fortify. Okay, you can use reinforce, good vocabulary, construct, reinforce, sustain vocabulary. Tourists tend to visit features of landscape where they are visiting landscape and townscape, which separate them off from everyday experience. See what this writer is saying, that the tourists want to go to the something unusual places outside their normal place, normal visiting places, but actually they are expecting something familiar in our life. They don't want to go and okay, imagine if the tourists want to go to an Amazon forest. So nowadays that he is criticizing over here, this person, if the tourist is traveling to there, they are expecting an American village over there. So why they are expecting? Because they want the facilities. They can't go to the forest for doing that toilet purpose, right? Okay, so they are expecting that modern facilities so that they can enjoy that complete pleasure of that tourism. Okay, so that's what they are saying over here. Tourists tend to visit features of landscape, so where they are visiting landscape and townscape, which separate them off from everyday experience. Such aspects are viewed because they are taken to be in some sense. See what they want. Separate them off from everyday life. Everyday experience is paraphrased over here, ordinary. Okay, separate them off is sense out of the ordinary. Actually, basically paraphrase sentence only, almost. The viewing of these tourist sites often involves different forms of social patterning with a much greater sensitivity to visual elements of landscape or townscape that is normally found in. See, there are different things in the tourism, but what is given more preference? That's visual element. What is something stunning, scenic, okay? Then pristine, the mesmerizing view. All of these are vocabulary related to tourism. It's there in the My Canyon tourism. Okay, related one video is the canyon. It's available there. Okay, people linger over. Linger over means they stay more time over these sites in a way that they will not normally do in their home environment, and the vision is objectified or captured. See, objectified means it is captured, that is only the objectified. But in photography, if you are writing objective, the vision is objectified or captures through photograph, postcard, films, so on, which enable the memory to be endlessly reproduced and recaptured. See, It won't be available in any websites other than this IELTS reading section. So this kind of vocabulary definitely needed. Endlessly reproduce and recapture. Vision is objectified or captured through photographs, through cameras, photographs. Now, one of the earliest dissertation on the subject of tourism is Bo's analysis of pseudo event, where he argues that contemporary means modern Americans cannot experience reality directly. They cannot experience reality directly, but thrive on pseudo elements. See, that's what they can't go to for. They go to forest for enjoyment, but they enjoy this. Like they want running water, they want electricity. So can you think if you are they are going to Amazon forest and if there is no electricity, and the tourists also don't want to be living in an non-electric place, electricity place, he can't even reach do that power for mobiles. So they want a pseudo events, they want something convenient for them, so they don't want to live exactly in the same reality. Isolated from the host environment and local people, the mass tourist travels in guided groups and find pleasure in inauthentic, contrived attraction. You can check the meaning. Okay. Gullibly enjoying. See, gullibly means without thinking. They believe that as it is. That's, I guess that's the meaning. The pseudo events and disregarding the real. They are actually okay. They want to. They want sense out of that. That's what we learned here, right? Sense out of ordinary from their life, but actually they are comfortable in their normal life. One of the okay, over time the images generated of tourist sites come to constitute a closed self-perpetuating system of illusions which provide the tourist with the basis of for selecting and evaluating potential places to visit. Just read this. Sorry for the distraction. So perpetuate means keep going. Okay. Self perpetuate means keep going. Fine. Self it's keep going system. Okay. Illusions. Just I want to show you some. See, this is the thing. Environment bubble of the familiar American style hot. Environmental bubble. They are keeping a bubble of the familiar American style hotel which insulates the tourist from the strangeness. See, that's the problem. Strangeness of the host environment. To service the please check with the pronunciation. Okay, Bargino, one second.
Burgeoning, burgeoning,
Burgeoning.
burgeoning,
R is silent. Jenning. Okay, burgeoning.
burgeoning,
Okay. Burgeoning in the tourist. Burgeoning means developing quickly. That is known as burgeoning industry. To service the burgeoning tourist industry, an array of professionals has developed who attempt to reproduce ever new objects for the tourists to look at. So professionals, there are several professionals. They are developing something for this burgeoning tourist industry, booming tourist industry. Okay, this okay. Let me these objects or places are located in a complex and changing hierarchy. So it's based upon, if you are poor you will be getting less facility, if you are rich wealthy persons that is known as, it's a complex and changing hierarchy, position is changing. This depend upon the interplay means interaction or interchange. Okay, this depend upon the interchange between, on the one hand, competition between interest involved in provision such as such objects, like based on changing class, gender, generation distinction. Say if you go, gender means, see, if you go to any places, sometimes ladies have that toilet facility but gents doesn't have, right? So there is a discrimination, okay, distinctions, gender and generation distinction of taste within the potential population of visitors. It has been said to be a tourist is one of the characteristics of modern experience. So that's what I told. It's part of modernism. Not to go away is like not possessing a car or a nice house. Travel is a marker of status. Nowadays, this characteristic. This is a sentence. Characteristics of the modern experience. Marker of status in modern society. The range of professional is to cater. Why they need to cater the needs and taste of the tourists in accordance with their class and overall expectation. So class means based on cater for the needs of the taste of the tourists in accordance with their class and over rich and poor and overall expectation, that the daydreaming, right, that they depend upon their daydreaming. So that's the end. So, Bible verse for you. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. Basically, it means that you won't be given any problem or temptations which you have been given the temptation, whatever problem that you are in. So that problem is something common for everyone, it's not you alone is facing. You might be asking why it's only me, but that's not the case. Everyone is facing one of poverty, let it be poverty, financial stress, everyone has, right? God is faithful. See, God is faithful and he will let you. See, God is faithful and He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. If you it your test is given based upon your ability. If you don't have that capacity to handle that question, handle that situation, God doesn't won't give that situation to you, that problem to you. But with temptation, He will also provide the way of escape, so you can escape. He will also provide the way of escape. There is a way of escape. So ask God, okay, if it is beyond my beyond within my ability, okay, I believe that, then where is the way of escape for that? Show me that. Okay, that you may be able to endure it, you will be able to endure that. So that's the end. Thank you.